Hey, beautiful souls, welcome back or welcome to The Hawk and I. My name is Lana Zielinski and I work in the spirit dimensions, and I'm talking a bit more today about the soul connections, and the journey we have with other people. I've talked about it before in a previous video on soulmates. You're welcome to go back and have a listen on that one. And as always, take what resonates and you're welcome to leave the rest right here. You're also welcome to share your thoughts, your opinions, your experiences here on the channel as well. We all journey together, and I'm very open to other suggestions and other theories. There are a lot of theories regarding the soul and the connections that we have. Soulmates versus twin flames, the connections that multiple births seem to have, the connections that we have with other people. And the more time I spend with spirit and the more I do past life regression work, the deeper of the understanding that I have with the soul's journey and the experiences that we have and the connections that we have to other people. Soulmates have this overpowering feeling of connection, and soulmates are usually very much a loving, supportive, caring, I've loved you or known you for a million years kind of feeling. Twin flames start out that way, and sometimes it's a little hard to kind of differentiate if I've met my twin flame or if I've met a soulmate. Twin flames have that instant connection as well. They feel very familiar. However, twin flames, usually there's resistance in relationships. There's usually a bit of bonking heads, a lot of disagreements on feelings or topics, a lot of push and pull. And sometimes those relationships can go down a bit of a rocky road and can become very difficult. And the reason for that is absolutely fascinating. Twin flames are mirror images of each other's soul. Now, a lot of books or research or Google searches will use the word that the soul has split, that it's one soul split in half. When I've sat with spirit has kind of said to me, well, it's not really one soul split in half. It's one soul mirroring the other soul. So it's almost like the two souls are very, very, very similar with personality traits, with journey experiences. They've had very, very, very similar journeys. It's almost like the soul is a related mirror image. When I sat with spirit, I've asked this question many, many times because I really wasn't sure myself how I felt about the splitting into two. And what I was shown was the mirror image of. So I think it depends on how you interpret that as well. Perhaps it's someone's interpretation, maybe, well, that's a splitting of the soul. But for me, it was more when I sat with that and learned more through past life regression work, it was almost like identical twin souls. And when we meet those identical twin souls, those mirror images of ourselves, that's why the twin flame relationships quite often have bumpy roads, because you're too much alike. Where the soulmates have more of that deeper connection, that unconditional love, that I will support you, you support me. And there's less of that push-pull with soulmates. And remember, soulmates and twin flames are not always necessarily romantic relationships. They can be, very, very deep friendships, and you can have more than one. Twin flames have more of a teaching role. You kind of find each other, you find those twin flames, and you can have multiple twin flames come into your life. You are meant to teach each other. And when the learning is over, what we're supposed to do, but as humans struggle with, is we're supposed to bid each other well, much love and light to you as you go on in your journey. But as humans, we struggle with that. We struggle with the whole letting go of people process. So quite often twin flame relationships come with a lot of drama because we're meant to learn. We're meant to say, aha, thank you very much for finding me this lifetime. Thank you very much for teaching me this lifetime. I wish you well in your journey. I'll go this way, you go that way, and perhaps we'll, kind of cross paths again or not. But as I said, we go into resistance with that when it comes to other humans with the letting go process. So yes, twin flames often end up in rocky situations with a little bit of drama, or harder lessons learned than what the intended lesson to be learned was. It's absolutely fascinating when I dig deep into the twin soul and soulmate topic, because I find that when we kind of look at what we've come to do, come here into the physical world and have a journey, and the people that we meet, that we agreed to journey with and teach lessons to, we're often meant to just go, okay, got it, learned, you go your way, I'll go mine. And sometimes we go back and forth with those people as the learning continues. But with twin flames, like I said, we're usually meant to go in different directions. Now, multiple births are fascinating, and I've had some incredible experience with my past life regression work when it comes to multiple births. I've done a few regressions on twins, and it's absolutely fascinating on what comes out of those regressions. Now, quite often twins, whether they be identical or not, it doesn't really matter if they're identical twins. They don't have to be identical to have this really deep connections. These souls with multiple births, with my experience with regression work, have an incredible connection up in the spirit dimensions. They have had many journeys before into physical world, but they've also done a lot of work together up in the spirit dimensions. Now, I'm sure many of you have talked to people who are twins, or have heard stories from twins or multiple births, that they have this really deep connection. They can hear each other's thoughts. They know when the other one may be hurting or going through something, even when they're, perhaps 1,000 miles apart. There's also been some documented cases with twins who were given up for adoption and went to live very separate lives and didn't even know about each other, but always had that feeling and that connection of knowing and feeling somebody else was out there, their emotions, their thoughts, and they just had that deep, deep, deep inner knowing. I did a regression on a set of twins fairly recently who came to me to have a deeper understanding of why they were so connected. They literally knew what the other person was wearing every day. They knew what they were eating. They knew when they were sleeping. They had this really unique knowing about pretty much everything. They just knew. They would text each other and call each other and meet up, and they just knew. They could also send messages to each other telepathically, and they wanted a deeper understanding of the connection. So some regression work was a great way to tap into that, and we learned so much during our regression time with those two. It was absolutely profound. The story there was they have had 18 lives together as twins, as multiples, and they had only ever come into the physical world in that pair. They'd never had a journey without the other. So with all those lifetimes, and the soul growth and soul connection was so deep and powerful, because it was all their soul had ever known, was how to communicate that way. And it was incredible to experience that with them. And at the end of the regression work that we did a couple sessions, and at the end of the regression work, the answers that they had and the understanding that they had, because sometimes there are things in life that kind of leave us scratching our head with, how is this even possible? Are we crazy? Is there, there's something going on here, and people like a deeper understanding about that. They also did a lot of work in pairs in the spirit dimensions together. It was in how spirit showed me when we did the regression, was they have two souls. Soul twins in multiple births do have their own soul, but how spirit showed me this during the regression was the souls attached, and it was almost like they were literally attached to one another. And a lot of twins in multiple births had that same soul attachment. It's like they had this string of light sewing them together. even though they both come here with very different learning and very different experiences, their soul has this incredible attachment to the other, and they have really stayed in alignment with that. Even though they may not have been able to explain it, they didn't resist it, they didn't push against it, they just simply allowed the magic of being connected as twins. I think that, with a lot of people and a lot of our soul connections, I do feel, and I feel this very strongly, I feel that we can strengthen our connections. So, for example, I'll use me as an example. The soulmates that are in my life, and we do have more than one. I do, or we can have more than one. With those people in our lives, if we put some effort into growing that connection, if we work on being stronger connections, working with sending each other messages this way, if we work on strengthening that muscle, if you will, it does grow, and we can have even deeper connections than what we came here with, or reconnect to. We are meant to be growing spiritually as well as emotionally and physically when we come here into this physical world. I've played with that a little bit with people that I'm really close to the souls that I connect very deeply with. I have played with that. I've been playful with it, with sending them message telepathically, with visiting them in their dreams, sending them messages at dream time, and it's kind of interesting to watch that grow and develop. And you can all do it. You can all kind of, send a message to someone, from your heart to heart, or from your mind to mind, your soul to soul. And the more that you do it and practice it, it reaches the other person and they begin to feel it. It's fascinating. It absolutely is fascinating. Give it a try. Soulmates, twin flames, multiple births, the relationship we have with other souls on the journey. An amazing topic, and one that I find extremely fascinating. I do hope that you learned a little bit more here on the channel. Big thumbs up if you liked the video, and thank you very much for following my channel. Much love, and as always, I am wishing you love, light, blessings, and a spirit guided day.